All right, welcome back to the channel. So, not a good day for Shawn Porter or Abner Mares as they get canned by Fox. And FS1 specifically. Let's talk about Shawn Porter and Abner Mares getting canceled by Fox in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Showtime Shawn Porter, the former WBC welterweight champion of the world, the former IBF uh, welterweight champion of the world, and now former host of Inside the PBC on FS1. Unfortunately for Shawn Porter and Abner Mares, and I don't remember what the lady's name is, kind of racially ambiguous woman. Don't know what her name is, can't ever remember it. She got canceled too because FS1 said that they are eliminating their boxing shoulder programming in anticipation of boxing returning to Fox. I do believe that the Fox lineup is going to begin in the month of July. But when they return in the month of July, just like the ESPN cards, they're not going to have, they're not going to be fans. More than likely, they're not going to be people sitting by ringside calling the fights. They're probably going to be out on monitors doing it. But hey, man, if the quality of the fights are there, I don't mind. Hey, it doesn't make me any difference, man. I don't pay attention to the crowds or the commentators a lot of times in boxing as well. So for me, it's no loss. However, it actually might be a bit of a gain. And let me tell you why that is. Shawn Porter, do you guys remember when Shawn Porter and Errol Spence Jr. were in their the face-to-face that they had before their fight, where Shawn Porter would constantly say, on my show, on my show, on my show. And Errol Spence Jr. said, man, that is not your show. That's not your show. There's a whole bunch of people go on that show and host that show. But Shawn Porter, you could tell that he gets a certain elevation to his personality, not to his personality, but to his he appeals to a broader audience, and he has it's much more easy for him to connect and talk with fans and stay relevant in the sport of boxing when you have that type of program going on. Now, what I hope that this will do, and I don't know when the program is going to come back, really, dude, as we get to, what is this? Is almost July, right? This is it's June 23rd, Tuesday, June 23rd at, by the way, 9:31 a.m. Central Standard Time. But we only have 6 months left in this year, and I don't believe any of these guys are going to come back, or any of the major fighters are going to come back. But at least if Shawn Porter is not on television and does not have that outlet to be seen and be interviewed, to interview and to give his opinion, maybe that might actually get him a little bit more interested and be a little bit more picky about who it is that he wants to fight. Now, one of the people, obviously, now I don't know if this fight can happen, because I think, and I got another video coming out today about Top Rank. Man, I don't know about Top Rank, man. These numbers that they have, the fact that that their whole organization has been in decline. And Bob Arum was actually talking about, being willing to accept people to sell, offers to buy Top Rank. And I just don't know how long, if those guys really can afford to do anything, or to actually take the risk to make some of these bigger fights with the upfront costs that are necessary in any boxing event, right? Even if it's pay-per-view, you still have upfront costs associated with marketing, upfront costs related to, the salaries of the people in Top Rank and all that, right? So I don't know if Top Rank really is going to have the ability to make big fights with fighters. But when the fight that I was really wanting to see and hoping could take place was Shawn Porter versus Terence Crawford. And if there's some way that that the money situation can be worked out, that would be one of the best fights that can take place in the welterweight division. But not only was Terence Crawford hesitant to make the fight, Shawn Porter was playing prima donna related to that fight, right? Like, now I don't know, me and him, we're gonna decide. We'll get together and we'll meet to decide if we're gonna fight one another, if we really want to fight one another. But nobody's gonna force us into fighting because we're pals and all that. Hey, I think some of that has to do with the fact that Shawn Porter sees himself as a big star in the sport of boxing. I don't I and the main reason why you could get that perception is because just like a Tim Bradley right now or Andre Ward right now, you're going to constantly hear him talk about the boxing matches that are coming up. You get his opinion about the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fights. You get his opinions about, he's covering and the lead up to fights with the Manny Pacquiao fight. So by being on that show, it keeps him very, very much in the mix on a regular basis. So while I have no doubt that Shawn Porter can probably already retire. If from what I understand is true, and the way that he takes care of his money, if he really actually takes care of his money, and I do believe that he seems as if he's the type of person to do that, then more than likely he really is not pressed for any type of money. The last year he came off of a pay-per-view fight, which probably got him 6-7. He could have got as much as $10 million on the fight that he had with that fight he had with Errol Spence Jr. So, the dude's got his money, so it's not as big of a push for him to really go out and try to seek these fights, right? But I'm just hoping that if he doesn't, the need to be on stage, the need to be relevant, the need to be talked about, that a lot of fighters feel, that might kick in with him, and then we could get some really good fights, right? So, like, I know there's a lot of stuff that's off the table for him. So, for example, he says that he wants to fight Errol Spence Jr. We know that the Errol Spence Jr. fight is off the plate for him, and probably is never going to happen again. And for a couple of reasons. One, Shawn Porter really did. I think Shawn Porter really did push Errol Spence Jr. Not into the fight itself, but I know because of conversations I've had with people. I hate saying behind the scenes, but conversations I had with people, that there was a lot of drama with making the Errol Spence Jr. Shawn Porter fight, because originally, Errol Spence Jr. and them didn't think that the fight was a pay-per-view worthy fight. So, well, actually, you can back that up. Originally, Errol Spence Jr. got into the ring as the IBF champion and tried to get a fight with Shawn Porter, and then Shawn Porter said he would take the fight. Then Shawn Porter didn't take the fight, so Errol Spence Jr. had to fight Mikey Garcia, something that Errol Spence Jr. didn't want to do. Now, Errol's wound up making a lot of money. It wound up being a pay-per-view event. It wound up being something where, the PBC made money, he made money, right? But that was not his intention. That was not his plan. He would have rather fought. Now, I think this is definitely a credit to Errol Spence Jr., that he would have rather fought Shawn Porter on regular Showtime. At least this is my understanding. He would have rather taken the Shawn Porter fight, a regular Shawn Porter fight, not a pay-per-view fight, but a Shawn Porter fight on Fox, and made the same amount of money that he was making before, or slightly more money than he was making before, so that he could get his hands on the two belts. But Shawn Porter played prima donna. I think he wound up fighting. Who did he wind up fighting? Maybe was it Ugas? Because he got the belt off of Danny Garcia. Then I think the next title defense that he had, I'm pretty sure that was Yordenis Ugas. So he winds up having a fight with Yordenis Ugas. Errol Spence Jr. has a fight with Mikey Garcia, and then eventually they make the fight. But that whole waiting process that Errol Spence Jr. went with Shawn Porter, like even when Errol Spence Jr. didn't have a belt and he was trying to get a fight with Shawn Porter, I don't think that Errol Spence Jr. is going to pump his brakes on his plans at all to get a rematch with Shawn Porter. And he's got the Manny Pacquiao fight, and he's got a Danny Garcia fight coming up. He's got a Terence Crawford fight that he could take, and he's got a fight against Manny Pacquiao that they're trying to get made. So that's just out of it for him, for Shawn Porter. And so is Manny Pacquiao. Everybody and their mother want to fight Manny Pacquiao because there's good money in it, and Manny Pacquiao's looking a little sweet right now, without a doubt. Because if you look closely enough at that if the Manny Pacquiao Keith Thurman fight, you will see that Keith Thurman was catching Manny Pacquiao very, very often. Now he's a very difficult fighter to beat, and he did win, the fight against Keith Thurman, but I don't think that was the Keith Thurman that had fought Danny Garcia, Robert the Ghost Guerrera, and Shawn Porter. So everybody wants Manny Pacquiao, so Shawn Porter's not going to get that fight. Terence Crawford, Bob Arum is now saying that he doesn't have money to make that fight. So I'm hoping maybe we can get out of Shawn Porter a Yordenis Ugas rematch or something like that. But a good fight, a good competitive fight, and not have him just kind of waiting around trying to figure out how he's going to get fights that are not going to materialize for him. It really is a shame, though, that the fight with Shawn Porter and Terence Crawford just can't be made for whatever reasons, monetary reasons, is what's being said by Top Rank, because that's the best option for him. But anyway, that's how I hope it turns out. So sorry you lost your side deal, but I know he ain't starving. Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.